Okay. Come on, let's see. I always seem to have issues at the start of my live stream. Always seem to have issues. Let's see if it's going to load properly now. Dang. Hold on. Tech difficulties, I think. Give me a hot second. Come on, let's see, is this live for me? Still says I'm recording, so I'm hoping that we're live right now. Again, putting it on auto. Hello. Okay, come on. It still says I'm recording right now, and I'm live. Okay, we're closing that, opening this. Come on, let's see. I'm hoping that this is going to load for me. Dang it. Come on. Sorry guys, it feels like I always have some issue with my live stream, especially right at the beginning. And I'm opening up the floor to questions to all of you guys, so we can kind of talk about anything you guys want. I kind of decided that it would be a good day to do a live stream. Today's Bell Let's Talk Day, so this is Mental Health Awareness Month, and I think it's important that everyone realizes like the importance of mental health and that it's okay to not be okay. There are all of these problems in the world right now. Like 2020 is really starting off, in a very troubling way, in my opinion. We just had a huge earthquake. I believe it was in Jamaica, and it was 7.7. And based on how the Richter scale works, whatever the value is on an earthquake, it's 10 to the power of that number. So the magnitude is super high, and it's just crazy what's happening. Thoughts and prayers go out to Kobe Bryant as well as the other people that were on that helicopter crash. It's just terrible what happened. We have to think about the fires from Australia, the, I think, volcano in the Philippines, the earthquakes in Puerto Rico, the U.S. base that was bombed in Iran, the plane that was shot down, the coronavirus that is going around as well. There's just so much going on in the world right now, and I think it's good that we are aware of what's happening in the world, but also that we take care of our own mental health. And I'm someone who struggles with anxiety myself, so it's often difficult for me to even talk to people. So even doing videos like this are kind of out of my comfort zone at times, but I like to push myself that way too in order to learn and grow. What is my opinion about Frost as a Human Shield S-Class? You think that he's a good character for a good defensive team. I think Frost is very unique right now because he's the first Human Shield S-Class toon, and because of how tanky he is, because with his S-Class stats, it's becoming more difficult to use, say, 6-star characters in order to take them down. So I wouldn't say that he has the best kit, as shields go. So hold on, let me go over and look at Frost actually in the museum. So with Frost as an S-Class toon, as a Human Shield, high defensive stats, high HP. His attack is a bit higher than what I would want it to be with him being a shield, but at the same time, you have to find some balance. His rush, I do kind of like his rush because you can easily put on a weapon, huge AP when taking damage because a lot of toons will be attacking him. So this ability to revive at least one teammate with 50% of their max HP, and then all teammates regain 30% of their max HP for 5 turns, that's a lot of turns, and that would definitely help against a toon that puts on infection, for example. Like, obviously, it would only be for the 3 turns because infection is usually 3 turns, so that's 90% of their max HP. But there are ways to manipulate that as well as compound it with other healing abilities. His active skill, I don't like it at all. I don't think 50% bonus HP is very useful, just because there are so many ways to avoid bonus HP. So like maim, burn, and bleed are just a few examples. And I just don't think it's as effective as it could have been if it was like a defensive bonus. So this character gets, say, 150% defense, that decreases by 50% for 3 turns type of thing. I think that would be more effective. He doesn't have a bound weapon, so you can easily make him an elusive impair weapon. So I think as a starter, Frost is a good tune because we're just entering the S-Class era. But later on, I think he will be used less. Donald Trump. I don't like to talk about politics very much. I have some choice words that I have regarding Trump, but I'm going to avoid that. Oh geez, I'm so sorry, Pim. I hope that you're okay and that you're not hurt. Matthew, yep, 5-turn heal is really good. 100% heal reduction can stop that, of course, or any type of heal reduction can reduce it. I like him, but I don't have him. I wanted to get him. I went all in on Mercer, so I wouldn't even have a chance of trying to pull for him, so I'm not going to attempt it. I'm trying to save some coins for WOC for the 7th. You've heard that region transfers are coming to the game. They should be after WOC from what I've heard, but at the same time, nothing has been confirmed, so it's difficult to really say anything because it can be easily disproven as soon as something happens that disproves it, of course. So I don't want to be quoted on that. I don't know when WOC, if it'll happen right after WOC or if it'll be later in February. It's all kind of convoluted. Yes, his active is a downfall. That the people are talking, yes, everyone is talking about transfers in every region because we've all been kind of stuck in our individual region for 2-3 months, and it's been a lot of stress, I guess, because you can't really recruit. Your region kind of just, people retire and fewer people are coming into the game, and to kind of keep the region saturated, you need to have high activity, but without these transfers now, it just feels like there are more retirements that are happening instead of people actively playing. WOC is next weekend. It's not this weekend. It's on February 7th. That's when it starts, but the region should be opening up today so that factions can start moving over there, or individual players who made it on their own. So it's just giving people the chance to move there in their own time and get situated, which I think is important. So, yeah, guys, keep asking me questions on this live stream. I'm just going to be going through some raids after I auto through some of this stuff and read some of your questions at the same time, because I found it quite difficult in war to be warring while also talking about exactly what I'm doing when I'm doing it. Because obviously I want to go fast in war, but in raids I'll be able to talk a little more about how I'm raiding or why I'm raiding a certain way, and even the type of team that I'm going to bring in based on who I see as a lead. I guess I can also talk about the defensive characters that I come across and what I look for in a defensive team, I guess, when I analyze it at first, because in war and stuff where it's all fast, I don't get to talk about it as much because I'm making split-second decisions. You gave 2,780 in solo raid, but you think so that the faction raid and level up. I get what you mean, yeah, because we have a solo raid right now and then we have a faction raid soon, and obviously you want to give a lot to your faction raid as well, because faction prizes, that's a prize for everyone versus an individual one. But I have to get back to work. All good. Enjoy working. I know it's a weird stream time. It's just I feel like today is an important day. It's Bell Let's Talk, so it's talking about mental health and trying to end the stigma around it. I know that it's difficult for some people to talk about their mental health, And it can be frustrating at times because not everyone understands what you're going through. And until recently, it was really just about not talking about it because then something is wrong with you. But, it's okay not to be okay. I have my days and my moments as well. And I think it's only human to, to struggle at times. I think we learn more from our struggles than our success. Okay, so Matthew, at the moment I use Angel, Krista, Doc Stevens, Magna, Henyon for defense. Thoughts on it, and could I make improvements? There's always ways to make improvements, and I'm not sure which Magna you mean. Is it the blue one or the red one? Because the blue one's definitely more defensive, while the red one's more for an offensive team. I'm assuming Henyon is an S-class tune, but I'm not exactly sure either. I would probably add a command tune to that team, just because you want to force the opponent to make a decision on the first turn. If you don't end up having a command tune, then Doc Stevens isn't going to go off on the first turn, then that just gives the opponent a chance to recover from it, because they know if I run Doc Stevens on offense, I can daze Angel and then use my Doc as normal, be able to control the defense, and then rush on your team anyway. Now, you do have to be careful using Doc Stevens now on defense, as well as Arav and Cam, because I actually just did a video on this about how exhaust works, and just because some of these 6-star tunes just don't have high HP, and the way you can manipulate AP gains based on unnatural AP gains, it is a type of defense that can fall fast if you're not careful with it. Solar Raid and Blount, I think the highest is like 27,000 points at the moment. I'm just going to try and make top 50, because with that, I should have enough Arav cards to get my S-Class Arav. So I'm excited. Yep, so the red Magna, I think Ajax would be a better decision for a defensive shield, just because his rush also heals himself as well as it taunts, and I think his active skill causes elusive. So that means if a tune attacks him, they won't gain any AP. And Henyon, I find him to be an interesting choice. I've seen him on a couple defensive teams, and he can throw off the offense just because he has enough HP and defense, in my opinion, well, in most cases, depending on how he's modded, in order to survive. But he can also apply a decent amount of attack force, especially being I think it's a headhunter where he can apply crosshairs. No, that's not headhunter. I can't remember what it's called, but he can apply crosshairs when he gets a critical hit, and he has a double attack weapon. Marcos. I want to send Mr. Dale in the next weekend, because I want to use him. He is a great command character, and he's probably the first and only, nope, not the only, but the first promo that I ever pulled in this game. And I really got him by luck, because I was actually saving all my coins from Tapjoy offers to try and get a disarm tune, because at that point everyone needed a disarm tune, and I ended up getting lucky. I spent like 110 coins on a roadmap to get 3 pulls on this random wheel where Louis was an option, and somehow I ended up getting him on those 3 pulls when there was like a 4% chance at an ascendable or something like that, maybe 7%, and then there was like 6 different ascendables on the wheel. So right after that, Dale came out, and I felt lucky because I just got my Louis. So I did 2 10 pulls, and I ended up getting him on my second 10 pull, and he was absolutely game-changing for me. I do have Dale now, so I could put him on there. I like Dale a lot. I like his bound weapon because it's an impair weapon, so it's a bit different than stun, of course, and it just adds a bit of variety to the team. I really like his active skill. By being able to focus your whole team, it means you have to worry a little less about taunt as well as confuse, because focus allows you to kind of fight through those abilities that affect the mind, and it allows you to attack around human shields. So that's one thing I do have to say. Like before, we were talking about Frost. Having a tune that can focus your team is extremely important, especially against tanky human shields like Frost, in my opinion at least, because it just gives you more control over the situation. Like if Frost has an elusive impair weapon and you attack him, you could end up not impaired, but you could give him elusive, which prevents you from gaining any AP unless you use unnatural methods. But if you have a tune like Angel on defense, well, her exhaust can also prevent you from wanting to use unnatural methods to gain AP. The unnatural method of gaining AP would cause exhaust or to trigger, which is maim damage, and that could very easily kill your offensive team, just as much as I was able to manipulate it to kill a defensive team recently. Like, I really see a lot of value in almost every toon in the game. There is a way to use them, I believe, and it's just about finding that method. Now, don't get me wrong, there are a few toons that I think are just not very good, and I can't even think of a way to utilize them. Like, I think of Blue Shane, for instance, or Yellow Negan. I think Yellow Negan was a better 5-star character, and I would say the same for Shane. There are some other toons in the game that I believe are undervalued and could be used if you thought about it enough. And okay, I got some more things coming in. In my region, the highest is 5K milestones is enough for me. Yeah, 27K. Yeah, it's really high. I can show you guys in a second, actually. Hey, Ash. Okay, it is Headhunter. Okay, thank you. I couldn't remember because I'm trying to remember what the Execute and Decapitation one is, because that's what Michonne as well as Axel has. I think S-Class Princess is a great character, huge amount of damage, and then her normalize ability is one of a kind. I cannot think of really a better S-Class toon in some ways. Just, she reminds me of Priya in a lot of ways because she can be used both on offense as well as defense. She offers both control and power, and with her one-of-a-kind normalize ability at the moment, no one else can do what she does, which I think is extremely important and impressive. And yeah, no problem. I was really happy to make the exhaust video. It was a lot of fun for me, actually. I was actually really happy with it. And okay, so actually, top raid score is 30,000 points. Yeah, I'm nowhere near that. I'm at 3,000. I'm at 55 on the list here, and I'm going to try to just get into the top 50 area because, sorry, not there. Because with that, let's see the rewards. So I got my max milestones. I just want to get 100 Arov cards. That'll push me over so then I can get my S-Class Arov. 25,000 armory tokens is pretty good. These items, you need them, but like the best items, of course, are at the top, but there's no way I'm going to get there. So I'm just trying not to burn all my resources because I only have 50 raid refills, 27 world energies, 2 survival energies, some territory ones, lots of horde energies that I wish I could use because I love hordes, but I know with S-Class toons, it's nearly impossible to run the event. They should really just restrict it to 6 stars because they can do that in arenas with only 5-star toons allowed in old school, so I think 6-star characters would be a good choice. And then I'm very low on war energy refills. So with WC coming up, that is a worry for me. Hey GBZ, thanks for tuning in. It's good the Cameron Scar's defense. I like him, but I don't use my coins in some of the toons that are Cameron Scar. I use my coins in S-Class. Yeah. So I understand. Like, S-Class items are so important right now. And like right now, now that you say Cameron Scar, I'm taking a look at the offers we have. And we have this epic offer back again where you have this chance bag. And you have a 25% chance at Dr. Stevens, 25% chance at Cameron Scar, 25% at Zoo, as well as Sergio. Now, Sergio is probably one of the, I'm sorry to say it, but worst S-Class toons in the game. And he was our anniversary character, and I don't really know what was going through people's minds when they ended up making him. He just seems very unreliable, and I would never use him. Zoo, I could see using him just because of his fast and tough teammate leadership ability, and the plus 30 attack is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. His rush is nothing to write home about. I'm kind of ignoring his rush. The only reason I would use him would be to use Priya and Arav behind him, basically. Yes, thank you. What GBZ said. Like and subscribe and turn on notifications. I always forget to say that at the start of these live streams. Okay, it's beheading. Okay, that's what it is. Yeah, I get confused with these abilities. With all the new abilities coming out, it's difficult to keep things in line to remember. Now, this defense, I'm not going to attack it. It's a Mirabelle lead, and their max team grade is S13++. My max team grade is S14, I believe. No, it might be S13. Easy way to check that, actually. Going here. So it's S14. I do believe it's higher, but I haven't made that team grade just so that during raid events, I will score more points because of the difference between team grades. Yes, 30k milestone, enough for a solo raid. You've never done a horde event. Well, I really like horde events. It's something new to the game and it's different, so it just creates a different type of environment, in my opinion, and it's another dimension. Like, I know people have compared it to Plants vs. Zombies, and I've played that game once. I prefer hordes just a bit more, but that's just me. 43 energy, and part of that I'm going to use in the faction raid. Yeah, so I'm going to use a lot of my energies in the faction raid, but right now I'm going to take on this defense here. S14++, Walker's player. We see a Mercer lead, so there's going to be a lot of RNG to start. My main attack team here, they all have stun resist mods, but it doesn't seem to matter against Mercer leads because Mercer has a 100% chance of stunning the enemy, and then my mods have a chance of resisting it. So we're going to see how this goes, and we're going to kind of talk it out. So behind Mercer, I probably will expect some fast rushing tunes. I'm going to guess that there might be a Doc Stevens, a command tune. I would not be surprised if I saw a Frost behind here. There could be an Angel, it could be a Priya. There's just a lot of different options, but here we go. Okay, so it is a fast rushing team. See, this is a struggle now because I know Doc is going to go off unless I'm able to stun either. Only have one tune that isn't stunned. So I am in a pickle and I'm gonna have to attack. See, they resisted my stun. Doc is about to rush. And this next turn is all going to be about controlling and trying to mitigate the effect of this team. So I'm going to have to taunt a Rov, but what's going to happen is he's going to kill my Cole because my Cole has low HP right now. There's a trade advantage, and even cutting his HP in half isn't going to help. Priya's about to go off, so that's pretty much a null point as well. I'm not going to be able to kill Priya. I can kill Doc, but there's not really much I can do about this team. Like, as soon as Priya goes off, see, it kills two characters, confused my James, and I'm just in a pretty stuck position at the moment. Like, I don't think that there's a way that I can, there's like no chance of me winning this unless it's by severe luck. And when I say severe luck, I mean extreme luck. It's not even funny. Like, right there, if I had been able to stun him, I might have had a chance, but otherwise, there's just so much RNG against these teams. I'm actually going to rematch that. I know there's 17 minutes until my next energy, but like going up against them again, you see I only have 2 tunes that are stunned this turn. There's some taunt resists here, but I'm going to try to taunt anyway. Let's see if I hit here, and then if I split hits, Priya might rush here. Yeah, so I hit Priya too hard, and that's another risk that's implied with this team. It's almost better if I had attacked Dr. Stevens, just because there's a chance of him causing AP gain, but it's not guaranteed. Whatever I do in this turn, it's going to get messy because Dale is going to command Mercer, or he's going to command Dr. Stevens. And like, I'm hoping for a stun, so I get a stun on a Rov, which helps, but Mercer's going to rush, which should stun up to 3 tunes on my team, and I only have 3 for 2 turns. So I had some stun resist go off, which again helps, but doesn't make things perfect. And this is what I hate the most, I think, about these teams, is that there's just so much RNG involved, and you can't predict what's going to happen. Like, I don't have the power on this team to really create anything. Now that James and Priya are dead, the best thing I can really do is hope that the team kills itself and that's what I'm doing by trying to confuse Priya. But with a focus ability because of Dale, it really puts me in a situation where it's a no-win. Oh, hold on. What did happen with the... Okay, the Horde events have kind of stopped just because the tunes are too powerful. S-class tunes just have stats and abilities that are far too great for the walkers, and they haven't scaled the walkers to adapt to it. Like, they would need a complete overhaul, or they would need to limit it to only 6-star tunes and lower. We're going to try a different team here. Let's see, so I do have a stun resist. Do I have a stun resist here? Okay, so I'm going to try this team out. And this team is kind of like a turn 1 control team, assuming I don't get stunned, but that's a lot to assume. So we're going to go in. Okay, so I have some stuns to begin with. I want to see if I can daze Doc. That gave some AP here, which is unfortunate because they have enough to rush. So the best thing I can hope for is to apply a Guardian Shield in order to help stop some of the attacks. And it's really, really difficult. Oh my gosh. Okay. Should I do a pull from the war wheel or wait? I already have Raven. If you don't have the other 3 tunes, you have a pretty good chance of getting someone you don't have. Like, I ended up pulling, and I had almost everyone on the wheel except for Raven and Alpha now, and I still pulled. I ended up getting a 5-star Alice, but I don't really need the Alice because I pulled a 6-star in my first one. And yes, I'm going to keep attacking here until I win. I would rather do this outside of war in order to figure out what I need to do to beat this team. Like, the main thing is RNG at the moment. Like, I will probably in the future end up attacking with a Mercer lead. And hold on, I'm just going to show you guys that I am super, super close. So, you see here, I need 1,045 S-class items for Mercer. And in my inventory, we'll just open that. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So 7 boxes with 50, so that's 350. I have this one with another 300 and this one with another 300. So I have 950, meaning I'm 100 cards short of my S-Class Mercer, which is very frustrating because I'm trying to get him before WOC, but if nothing comes out, then I'm going to be in a stuck position. Okay, so I ended up stunning my Diego. I was hoping that I would get a little lucky off that, and unfortunately, I did not. I'm going to attack here. I'm going to rush here. As you see, again, RNG based, ended up killing myself off of reflect damage, which happens a lot. So Doc Stevens is going off there. Mercer's about to go off, which will stun 3. Oh, and after Dale's rush, that's not good because of the 60% defense down. And like that, the match is over. So I know where my weak spots are for war, and as you see, it's going to be a struggle for a player like me. I am going to try out, I'm going to mock build a team actually right now. So right now what's killing me is that Dr. Stevens is rushing and providing AP. One of the biggest parts at the moment is because of the stunning that's going on. So I'm going to switch Coles. So this Cole here, is my disarming one. So I usually wouldn't use him, but I kind of need to at the moment. That last team, I wonder if my Camilla, James, Herschel, Glenn would have had a chance to nuke it. Maybe just have to get a few to 20% Herschel, then kill a few. I would run a payback team against it, to be honest, if I had payback. That's a big if. But, okay, I actually don't like my Cole there, but payback I think would be the best option there because it's a fast rushing team. If I ran payback in a line with a human shield, then the opponent would kind of self-destruct. Do I have a stun resist? No, I don't. So I'm not going to run my princess. Let me see. Who do I want to run here? See, James wouldn't do bad only because there are 2 yellow toons on the defensive team. So you kind of have an option, like, to use him to great effectiveness. I have an attack up when taunted, which helps against Doc Stevens, so I might throw him on there. He doesn't have as much control, but maybe not actually, because I'm not using my Diego lead. Let's see, with Alice, do I have a stun resist? I have a small stun resist on her. She might be some insurance, but at the same time, she's kind of a weak toon, especially when we have Priya's on defense and stuff. Oh, hey, Mama Deadhead. Welcome to the chat. Haven't seen you in a while. You got a 6-star Alice too. Nice job, Spooky. And Spooky Donut, I don't know what all those letters and numbers are for, but hello. So thank you everyone right now for tuning in. I said this at the beginning of my stream, but I just wanted to say, like, today is an important day. It's Bell Let's Talk Day, so it's just talking about mental health in order to help remove the stigma. I'm not going to run Angel Lead on attack just because I'm not going to have the power to take down the team fast enough. What I consider these raids to be is kind of like warm up to war. And I'd rather work out the kinks now when it matters a lot less than in war when my team is depending on me. So it's kind of just about figuring out what's going to work and what's not. Like, I'd be tempted to run Douglas on here just for some support, because he would be able to at least stop some of the attacks. He's not my first choice, but at the same time, I need something that's a little different in order to provide some firepower. Some blocking of the firepower that's going to occur. Let's see, I don't even know who I want to run right now. Maybe I'll go with Mr. Jones, actually, because I could have some turn 1 control, and I do like his infection ability. This one, defensive weapon. This one, I'm going to be risky and put an attack weapon on him. I could put on an impair weapon. I could put on a higher crit weapon, which also could be a good choice. Like, it's kind of like playing it hit or miss, because I do have a 41 plus crit chance mod. So it's a risky team to use right now because there are some yellow toons on the defensive team, specifically Arav. But you need to try different things, and this is kind of what I would be doing during war. If I missed on a defensive team, I would try to mock build a different team if my normal attack teams are not working, because the only way that you learn is by trying new things. It's by trying and failing. Oh, you're grocery shopping. I actually love to grocery shop. It's one of my favorite things to do. It helps with my anxiety. And I'm sorry about your anxiety flare-ups today. I was having some yesterday, to be honest, because I was kind of overwhelmed with life, which happens. Okay, so I have some control to start, not much. We're going to try that. Didn't work, so he is going to go off. I don't think Arav will go off yet. No, because he's not going to get the AP based on how AP gains work. Okay, so this is a messy situation again because of that taunt into him and the lack of control. Okay, so I can't really stop this. Nope, I'm not stopping it on this turn again. Yeah, Mercer leads can be squishy, but at the moment, I don't have an S-Class Arav. I don't have any power toons on my attacking team that can kill her on turn 1. Like, my main issue is that when we take a look at, like, with my main attacking team here, I don't have the power of my team where it should be at. I know that if I attack that Priya, there isn't going to be a chance for me to recover. She's going to rush on the first turn because I don't have a buff to really start it out with. Like, going at it again here, it's just the amount of RNG that occurs, like, even with trying to stun or impair or do something to Dr. Stevens, I just don't have enough control. in order to stop that initial rush because I don't know who I'm going to have. Like, that is probably my biggest problem with these teams, and I think you guys saw it in War when I was attacking against Zed Legion, as well as a couple of my other War videos where it was just too much RNG. Like, sometimes I had 0 toons stunned, but right now I'm having 2 to 5 toons stunned at a time, and with that, it's not enough for me to really go off of. Like, my James is close to doing about half the damage on a Rav, but we take a look, and his defense is decently high, not great. Definitely used on attack based on the attack versus alert, attack versus tough stuff. With Priya, she has similar defense. The 20% at the beginning of each wave. So when you combine 20%, 8%, if Doc had 8% as well, this would be very close, I think, to that turn 1 defensive team that I was talking about in my one video, where you either need to have turn 1 control, turn 1 RNG luck, which includes having the right toons taunted or stunned or impaired, confused, your pick, or running the payback combination, because the payback combination is a really easy one to make, where when you force a Rav to attack, like say this line where I have Glenn, and say if it was my payback toon here, then it would, self-destruct basically their own team. But for me as a player, because I don't have that option, I have to come up with different ideas. And my best idea will be when I have Mercer. But right now, my worst idea, sorry, sneezing, is still going against this team. Hello, Angelico. I also run Yumiko with 100% crit epic weapon for those Mercers without Dr. Stevens. I think you mean the crit expert thing, which gives 100% crit to the toon. I'm not gonna hit that team, but I was gonna skip on the last one. I don't want to hit these drop defenses. Okay, I should have hit that Relito one. I guess we'll hit this for now and see what's up. So fast rushing team here. If I had known, I might have tried to show you guys that Angel team that I was talking about and I did a video on. I know that she's going to end up pain splitting on the first turn with the toon with the most amount of HP, which will be Dr. Stevens in this case. I don't want to hit Dr. Stevens right now because I don't want to give AP up. I was able to stun Zach, which helps. This would have actually been a good team also to show how trauma works. I do have a trauma video in the making. It's just going to take some time because it's difficult to get the right circumstances to show you guys a solid video. And I want to show you guys something that's well put together in order to show all the applications of trauma. Why don't I try taunting Dale? Dale had a higher taunt resist mod, actually. And although, like, with him being a command toon that way, I want to make sure that I try to get in Doc Stevens in that. I like cutting the power of these other toons, and even with Command Dale, I usually don't go for him first. I've never really gone for him, and that's probably a mistake on my part now that I think about it. So really quickly, going back to this raid, right now, even with that minus 65% defense, because she's pain splitting with Doc, this is one of the ways that Bide ends up going off a lot, and when she first came out, people were having huge issues. So what I do, I use Priya's active skill by removing the positive status effect. There's no more pain split going on. I can command her back. I'm going to rush with James. See, and I wasn't able to trigger Bide. I think I saw 700,000% damage, or 700,000 damage right there, and that was just because I was able to use Priya's ability before I ended up rushing the team. If I just rushed it, I probably would have triggered Bide. I might not have killed Elle or Dr. Stevens, and I probably would have killed my James, but it's hard to know, obviously, without going at it again and again. I actually love grocery shopping as well, but with Athena, oh yeah. I can understand that. Like, you're missing her, and I totally understand that. At least she's having a good time at school, right? Like, right now I don't have school at the moment, and I'm at home just watching my dog. He was having some seizures last week. He's developed, we think epilepsy. So since he's on a new medication, we need someone to watch him as regularly as we can afford, and just most of my family's out of the country right now, so I volunteered more time to spend with him. It's just, animals are kind of like your best friend at times, and mine definitely is, so I'm spending a lot of time here with him, and I know he doesn't mind, and I don't really mind either. So, same general formula right now, going to see if I can kill L. I did not. I triggered Bide instead. James is not a problem. I'm going to rush here on L with my Priya. That reflect damage is dangerous. 600, so that's going to kill James here. I don't really need to use this rush, but I might anyway. Just, it'll cut attack if it doesn't taunt, which it didn't. But it still cuts the attack of the defensive team. AP down when being attacked, impaired. Easy choice really for me. And I'm just going to auto that out and read what else is here.